Kickin' it with Andy. 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 Kickin' it with Andy.
What is going on, everyone? It's Tuesday. This is the Kickin' It with Andy show. We got a lot to talk about: custom enclosures, prefab enclosures, and L5 and L10 enclosures. I don't know about that. But you know what? Make sure you stay tuned. We do giveaways, we have fun, and you know what? We talk about Kicker, and this is a great topic. So make sure you guys wait till the end. Got a lot of stuff for you, and I'll see you in 3 minutes.
Kickin' it with Andy. He's gonna be on every other Tuesday. Kickin' it with Andy. Kickin' it with Andy.
Thank you, everyone. Please take your seats. This plane's about to take off. Bobby B.
Kickin' it with Andy.
And here we go. What's going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning in tonight. We got an awesome topic with enclosures, custom, prefab. You know, I want to hear what you guys have to say, what kind of builds you got, and you know, just everything A to Z. You know, I'm no professional box designer, but we know a few guys that are, and some companies can give you some pretty good results and maybe some better than those. Hey, who knows? We're going to talk about it. We're going to have some fun. It's Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Had a lot going on this morning. I finally got rid of that little bump on my wrist. Thank goodness. And, you know, again, it's Tuesday. I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. I'm ready. It's going to be an awesome show, and I guess we can start officially since Deviant is here. Thank you for tuning in, guys. I appreciate you so much. The new Down for Sound Prefabs with the triple baffle look pretty nice. I seen that. I seen Jacob posting about that. They're pricey, but I mean, that's what you're going to pay if you pay someone to build and design and put together an enclosure that works for your sub. And we're going to get into that. You know, it literally says it works for these two subs, and I'm sure you could throw other ones in there. But what really makes a prefab a prefab? But thank you, Troy. Appreciate that you're here. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you go and enter tonight the weekly giveaway. See if anyone has entered so far. Do we got anyone entering? Let's see. Yeah, we already have 12 people that entered so far. Awesome, guys. You know, it's awesome that Kicker does this for us. I mean, what other company does this? I just don't see it. And if they do, it's not going to be the Kicker way. What they do for you guys and me, you know, it's amazing, and I'm just happy to be along for the ride in the caboose. I always get my seat, but you know what? We always leave an extra one at the very end of my shows, and you know, sometimes it gets sniped. It happens, but that's the part of the Russian roulette. Appreciate you guys tuning in. RVH, what is going on, man? Appreciate that you guys are here. I got a lot, obviously, to talk about. It's Tuesday. I got some stuff for you guys. We're going to go over box design software, estimated SPL results with prefabs versus custom versus max recommended, all kinds of stuff. Kicker L7, S, the R, the L5, the quad box. I got it all. And maybe if we have time towards the end, hey, let's see what happens if we throw some L7Ss in the quad box instead of the Rs. I don't know. I got it there. I haven't seen the results. It will be live. And, you know, we'll see if we get there. But I want to talk about custom versus prefab. What is the definition? I don't want to get ahead of myself because I got a clip for you guys. And I kind of go into it. And, you know, I don't want to go around, you know, and circling back. You don't want to circle back. And, but to start it off, a prefab, as I know and as you guys know, is a box that you go and buy on Amazon, you know, or you go to your local stereo shop and say, hey, I need a 12-inch box for my Sony Explode, my Kicker, my whatever it is. And they give you a box. Hey, do you want ported or sealed? Is it in a truck or not? And, man, I just love how I get these notifications when I'm live. Come on, man. What's going on, Garrick? Appreciate that you're here. And, you know, that in my idea of thinking is a prefab, you know? And, okay, we'll just throw any old sub in there and see what it does. Sometimes that works, and it could be a very, very good box for that driver. Usually not big drivers. And Troy, like you were saying with the prefabs, I feel like those are more geared to bigger woofers. You know, maybe if you got a smaller one, don't buy a prefab and buy a one you can buy on Amazon or your local stereo shop. But absolutely, we're going to get into it. We got almost 40 people here tonight. Appreciate all you guys. Cornut, wish me luck on the drawing, guys. Cornut won the ultimate grand prize. We have 2 grand prizes every Tuesday, but every other Tuesday we have 2 grand prizes, and he won the second grand prize, which isn't a prize, but it's a code for 50% off anything at kicker.com. I mean, that is like, give me a shopping cart and give me 5 minutes and see how much I can throw in the cart. That is what that is, and you only got to pay half. I mean, come on, man. It's a no-brainer. Larry, thank you for tuning in. Sup, everyone? We got Dub Team. What is up, Dub? Thank you for tuning in, man. Let me scroll down here for a second before we get to the meat and potatoes. You do our housekeeping. Jakar is building me my dream box, built especially for the Praisinator hatchback for my Dual 2 18-inch Trinity. That's awesome, man. You know, if you got a guy, especially if one is local to you, and actually knows your vehicle and you can get really, you know, accurate measurements, I feel like that is better than maybe any designer that can do it over the phone, unless they already had that vehicle and they know what really works with it, because there's a lot of trial and error goes into it. But at the end of the day, they have software that can kind of, you know, not have to be there kind of thing. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about. I don't have any of that fancy software, but I got, you know, level 2 software. It works for your average bass head. What's going on, Adele? What's up? Kicking it with Andy. 100%, man. Thanks for tuning in. Kyle. Everyone's talking about these Prefabs. Yes, it's for the 2 subs, the Sundown X and the ZS. You know, and we're going to get into that. And is that a Prefab? Or is that a custom enclosure for those drivers? You know, and that's, I feel like it's the same misconception with, okay, do you got a 4th order or do you got a 4th order bandpass? You know, and people fight over that tooth and nail, and it's like, listen, okay, I know a 4th order is technically a ported enclosure, but I don't have to say 4th order bandpass every time to be correct. You know, technically correct, yes. You know, and I feel like this can be the same misconstruction or whatever, you know, misconception of, oh, it's a prefab or a profab. I like the name profab because it separates it from being a prefab. But is every prefab made equally? We're going to talk about it. Dub team, the only prefabs I like are the Kicker ones, solid, tuned correctly, and have bracing. You know, the Kicker loaded enclosures are awesome. And I have the specs in my software already for the L7S and the quad box. And man, if you've ever ran a Kicker box, you know, it's not going to be playing 20 hertz. It'll play below 40. But they sound musical, you know, and when they're building these enclosures over here, they are building them so that they fit in your trunk. You're in almost everyone's trunk, and then obviously there's some limitations, like it's not gonna, quad box ain't gonna fit in your Mitsubishi Eclipse. I haven't tried it yet, but it's probably not. So you got a little bit of limitations. So and building in those limitations and also building something that sounds good, you do have to rear down a little bit of the performance per se of what it can do, but still make it work and sound really good. And we're gonna get into that too with the solidness, you know, with enclosures. I forgot to pull that up. I had, you know what, I do have it over here, but this one isn't 5/8 inch wood. The trend box that's right here that I got loaded up, I got this one on the software as well, but it's 3/4 inch. But they list it as an SQ because they do have a bigger one. This is the one that I have, and it's not terrible, but it's kind of small. And that's the same aspect of what I was talking about, where they're going to fit in every vehicle, and if you know how to make that and design it and make it sound good and make it fit in almost any vehicle, and you're kind of limited. And obviously that's why they have other options, but those other options are kind of like going with a custom enclosure, you know, and that's the whole thing we're going to talk about at Meat and Potatoes. I got a lot of stuff for you guys, but keep the questions coming. Dub, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate that you are here. Dan from the Stereo Shop, I see your comment on Kicker Club down here. Andy, is that you? I haven't seen you in so long, I forgot what you look like. Thanks for tuning in, Dan. You know, I was out in Greensburg today getting this fixed, and I was like, man, if I had time, I was going to stop down and say hello. Miss you, man. Hope all is well. I know you're always staying busy, dude. Appreciate you tuning in. We have to meet up sometime. I know we're both busy people. Thank you so much for tuning in, dude. That is huge. That is Troy. It's probably Troy commenting. That's a huge win. 50% off anything from kicker.com. Man, even the merch. Get yourself some t-shirts, some hoodies, some koozies. I mean, or you could just win it, but there's also that too, you know. It's like a well, it's 4th place for a reason. Let's see here. Johnny Piper, since Q-Class is discontinued, what will take its place, do you think? Solo X 8-inch? Ah, man, I cannot confirm nor deny on that one. Man, I felt so bad for Kip and all the guys, John and all them on the Unmasked show when they get these questions, you know? Because it's like, it's hard to, you know, but the confirm nor deny, I've always stuck to that one. And whenever Kip said that, I was like, man, that's it. So right here, I cannot confirm nor deny, but Q-Class is a whole nother animal, man. It really is. That sound quality, Solo X, L7X, that is just a monster, a beast. Now, would they make an 8? I know MBE would just love that. I would love that too. I'm going with the 10s. I don't know, man. Steve, he makes things happen, and if you're a dealer, you got a little bit more insight than even I do. But that's all I'm going to say on that one. David, I need a koozie, pen, and some coasters. Hope I win the coupon, man. You know what? It'll go right to that. You'll save half. Your shipping might be more expensive. No, the shipping's pretty good too. Let's see here. You know what? There is that of just making the enclosure fit. Not with that attitude, Andy. Any car will fit a quad box with a hacksaw and enough determination. You know, it would probably fit in mine. I'm worried about, you know, the hatchback window. It would be pretty close. Now, Kayla's car that doesn't have a custom floor, yeah, that wouldn't look good, and no, I don't think it would work too well. But anything can happen, man. The trend has acceptable boxes. You know, you kind of, just like anything in life, you really do want to go for, you know, the name brand stuff, especially when it's this. I took a chance on Amazon with that dual L7S enclosure that's sealed, but I really looked at the specs and I'm like, okay, this thing weighs 45 pounds. That's pretty heavy. Says it's got 1-inch MDF. Yeah, it's only the baffle, but hey, it's 3/4 all around and it's got a 1-inch baffle. That's pretty surprising for a prefab. So, you know, and that's the whole thing. So before, yeah, I'm just going to throw up that video. I got a few boxes I want to show you guys. I'll try to throw up the comments, and if I can question or answer some questions along the way, I'll try to do that. Alan, thank you for tuning in, man. Good to see you too, man. It's been a while. We got Mullen, we got everybody in here. Excuse me. All right, cool. Let me throw up this little video for you guys. Make sure you stay till the end. Don't leave. I know a lot of you guys leave. We always got stuff going on at the end. Let's kick it.
Kicking it with Andy. 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 Kicking it with Andy.
We got an L515 right here, guys, and it's in a prefab. I know, and it's not from Kicker, but it's not the worst. This is in a trend box, and it has 3/4 inch all around. I believe it's tuned around 37, 38, so it's a little high, but it works for, you know, small compact vehicles, not an SUV. You throw this in the back of your hatchback or sedan and it's gonna work. And it's not, you know, from Kicker, but it's gonna work for this. And there's worse ones out there. Depending where I throw this on the video, you guys will see, maybe not. And if I didn't, I got to throw that up next. The boxes that are not 3/4 inch all around, and they say 5/8, but to the average consumer, they might not know the difference. But this box definitely works. And, you know, for $80, $90, you can't really pass them up. But if you're really trying to get the most out of your woofer, maybe you should go custom. Why not? All right, now we're down here in the storage unit, and I have lots of boxes over here. And of course, old Cookie Monster and a couple Kicker prefabs that are actually pretty nice. These ones right here have the arrow port, and so does this one over here. That one's for L712s, and I believe this was for CVRs or Kicker comms. Both tuned around 36, 38, give or take. Now over here, this is why I wanted to come down here and show you guys what a bad prefab box is made out of. If you see this, this is very, very skinny. This is all 5/8 inch wood on this box, and it is just really bad. And yeah, it works for storage for toys, man. You know, it's just yeah, it's like a tote, but for base heads. But this box was so bad, I got it for free. I had to throw some bracing into it to make it kind of work, but it still just was leaking everywhere, and it just sounded hollow. It just didn't sound good. I got the duals up here, the band pass enclosure. Those things are beautiful for what they are and when they were. Awesome stuff. I got a truck box here, prefab, but it's actually got 3/4 inch wood, and it's a truck box, and that's what it is, and it's down firing, so it's not terrible. I got a few custom enclosures here. Once you fill a 3/4, you know what a 5/8 is. With custom enclosures and prefabs, they're not all built the same. And I would not clarify these kicker boxes, these prefabs right here. I would not clarify those as, quote, just prefab for any woofer. That's what prefabs really are when you come down to it. Yes, it's prefabricated, but it's not designed for one woofer or two, whatever it is. These are, and that's why these work really well. And you know, other brands can do it too. Like Scar has Scar enclosures, and I'm sure they work better for their subwoofers than just any old generic woofer. So it just all depends, but I wanted to show you guys, you know, what a bad prefab looks like, man. This thing is just terrible. It just sounds bad. It's just not even. The port just flexes. It's just been through it. I'm sure in the beginning when you first buy it, it might work, but how long is it going to last for? And that's what really comes down to it. You need a good box, no sound. So without further ado, let's keep moving. And welcome back. Yeah, that was, you know, I wanted to show you guys just a few different enclosures that I had. And, you know, some aren't bad, but some can be bad. And you know, the tube ones, Blaze Existence, you know, if you can get your box entirely a circle, not a globe, but a circle, it can get really loud. And that's why airports are great. But yeah, on the 5/8 inch debacle, you know, on a 10-inch woofer enclosure, I mean, I guess that's acceptable. Nothing against Rockville, we love Rockville, clamp power. And if you see here, it says 5/8 MDF, and that's fine, but maybe not for bass. I just feel like, you know, it's just not strong enough. You're going to need a ton of bracing, and eventually, because the enclosure will flex, it will rip apart, and then it'll start leaking, it'll start slapping, and not the good slapping, Troy. No bueno, no bueno. But, you know, I want to get into some of the specs and everything else. I wanted to show you guys that, and I like the kicker prefabs, man. They sound good. They got the arrows, or now they got the slots, and, you know, it's just, it's all in how you do it and what woofer you put in there, man. If you put just any generic woofer, I had a problem when I threw in the gold letters that I bought, and I threw it into that fancy prefab. It had nice plexiglass on it, and it seemed nice. It looked nice. The carpet was there, nice push terminals, but the enclosure specs weren't what works really well with that type of driver. That driver has a lot of moving mass, not moving mass, but yeah, it moves further. And in a sense, there's a lot of other variables, but it needs a bigger port. And kickers tend to need bigger ports than other drivers, given the situation. It worked perfectly fine with a JLW3, a lighter driver, and maybe it's not moving as much, you know, and it didn't require as much. The teal small parameters are just different, and it worked fine. And there's some drivers that need that rear wave. Hexibase, love your videos, man. They need that rear wave, and maybe it needs that type of port or a bigger port, whatever it is. But the whole point, what I'm getting to is, I threw that gold letter in there, and it sounded great at low volume. And then as soon as I started giving it to beans, it just didn't sound any better for how much more power I was putting into it. And I'm like, man, I know this driver is not whack. I threw it in a sealed box, and it's night and day now. Obviously, a bigger sealed box could even be better. A bigger ported box, a custom box would be better. But just doing that, I'm like, wow, it sounds a lot better. And who knows, you know, the QTS, it's like 0.7 plus or whatever, right around 0.7, so it can work in sealed and free air, and, you know, whatever better. But there, again, there are so many variables. That's why you want to do custom. Or you just trust a company to build you one and throw it together, and you don't have to really worry about it unless you're really trying to get something special. There, sorry, Mike. Sorry about that. Named him Mike. We got Chris. Did anyone say hello to Chris today? Poor Chris. He keeps uprooting all his plants. That's the only thing about goldfish. They are terrible with plants. Usually they eat them. This one's not too bad. It's actually for turtles. You can feed that to turtles. But yeah, they just go after plants and uproot them. They're always looking for food, man. Same. And I'm glad El Fuego is in here tonight. He is chatting it up. El Fuego, I hope you're feeling better, man. It looks like you're feeling better. Glad to have you back, man. 100%. All right, let me pull up all this other stuff. Okay, trend, quad box, dual L7s. What we're going to do first is we're going to talk about this enclosure here with the 2L7 dual 2s. We're going to talk about that first, but we're going to do it on the chart. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. Let's see. Load. Yes, we want to load this one. Simon Staley, thank you for tuning in, man. William, you're late, but I love you, man. Kicker, unmasked every other week. Starring our boy, Living Loud with Andy. Thank you for tuning in, Will. Thank you so much, man. You know, it's just cool to have everybody here, and it does suck that, you know, Kicker doesn't go live every week, but we get to do this, and I think it's just as fun, and it throws a little spice into things, man. It's an awesome thing to do for you guys, and you know, I have fun along the way too, man. I was really stressing about this show because I'm like, there's so much I want to talk about. There's so much I want to do. I was a little ahead of the curve on getting ready and having the short ready, and I'm like, I know what I want to talk about. I know what I want to do, and there's so much into the stuff. So let's get into it. I don't want to bore you guys. You know, I know you guys like to see all the fish tanks and speakers and stuff, but we're going to start getting into the numbers because that's what we care about, you know? How loud is it going to be if I have a prefab, maybe from Kicker, or a prefab from a Trend, and compare the difference? And really, is there a big difference? We're going to talk about it. And you're going to see the numbers. Couldn't agree more, Andy. Thank you for tuning in, Bubba. Appreciate that you are here, man. Troy, there you go. That's the way to do it. You watch me on YouTube, put me on your 80-inch TV. We stream at 1080 just so it's nice and pretty. Appreciate that you're here, man. All right, cool. Dub team. All right, so. I mean, we'll leave it there. We'll leave it there. All right, so. We have, let's see, Woofer Box Calculator Pro. Now, the first enclosure that we have in here is, well, that's the quad box. That's not right. We got a lot of boxes here. We got a lot of boxes. And this one right here is the max spec. My custom that I would design for one of you guys or one of my friends or myself. An SPL burp box. And down here, well, right here is the enclosure from Kicker that they send you in the loaded enclosures. We're going to do that. We'll maybe get to the quad box. We got the Kicker max spec for the 15 versus the Trend. Lots of stuff, man. But first, we're going to kick off with this guy right here. Nope, don't delete. Jeez Louise. Okay. So, got the enclosure specs, around 4.2 cubes net. It's got 32 inches of port area, length is 17, tuned to 30. These are tuned low, and again, that is that box right there. That box is tuned to 30 hertz, tuned to 30, and the quad box is tuned to 31. Oop, I'm losing internet. I'm sorry, guys, if I lose you for a second. It's probably Bryson downloading something, or Oakley on Blippi or something. Appreciate everyone tuning in. We got Mama McGill. Love you, Mom. Thank you for tuning in. Aaliyah put you on the TV. Love you guys. Miss ya. See you guys soon. We got Kibo here. Double E. What is going on? We got Colby. We got everybody, man. We got the whole crew, 65 in here watching tonight. It's going to be a really interesting show. So, let's get to it. Just to make sure you guys know that I ain't lying to you, let me pull this mic over. I always do this. The driver. We got two L7 12s. These are the S's. These are the teal small parameters. Man, I hope my internet's coming through clean for you guys. It's showing that I got low internet. All right, that's the next step on my list. New modem. Anyway, so we got the driver, and then we got the vehicle. you can actually change the vehicle, and I have it to have it like in a hatchback. And you can mess with this and you can get different numbers, but honestly, I kind of know what things do. I've tested a bunch of this stuff, and you know, I try to match it up as much as I can so the numbers relate to that with different enclosures. And we can do an SUV and all this other kind of stuff, but we're going to try to keep it simple today. Anyway, so with that enclosure, the dual L7S 12 enclosure, if you look on the right hand side, we got our power. This is power and this is not power clamped. Right here, these numbers here, we got SPL and frequency and power. The only things that I really have clicked are the impedance, because that kind of just shows where you're going to have your two dips, your low dip and your high dip, and you know, your efficiency within the enclosure versus the driver, yada yada yada. Magnitude, don't really know what that means. Cabin gain, obviously there's going to be cabin gain and how much you gain and your bandwidth and all that kind of fun stuff. So back to the fun, important stuff is the excursion. That's the purple line, the excursion. Obviously, if you're going to clamp, well, you can't see because I'm in the way. If you clamp up here, you know, 1200 watts, it's going to hit excursion. It's just going to do that. And that's where a lot of crossovers come into play, or you just don't play that low, or the crossovers. You set it infrasonic, subsonic frequency so that it doesn't hit this. That's unloading. And it can go both ways, man. But back to where I was saying, let's see, too many buttons here. So we got 141.4 at 44 hertz on like 900 watts on a CX 1200. Well, kind of guess it like that, you know? And that works. And what's cool about that is, you know, you don't need a ton of power. It's not the most efficient, but if you look at the curve, this yellow curve really tells you what this enclosure is. And all enclosures are going to have a dip. Okay, oh, what happened? What did I do? I can move that? I could never move that on the phone app. That's so much better. But that kind of throws me off. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, can I zoom in? No. Okay. Anyway, so if you look at the curve, you have a dip. And how, you know, steep the dip is going to tell you, you know, how peaky your box is. If it's got a nice slow roll off, in most chances going to have a lot of bandwidth. Now, I'm not saying it's going to have tons of transients or whatever, because, you know, you can have something that's got a really flat curve, but maybe it takes a ton of orders to do so, and you got so much port delay, the transients are just bad. The punchiness of the quality of the sound. So that's not the end all be all, but it gives you an idea what's going on. All right, so we got John K. Thank you for tuning in. Discovery of experimentation for the win. And that's literally how we do it. It's live, folks. You know the deal. All right, so we're going to keep the power the same, and then after a while, we're going to start cranking it up. So we got 141.4 at 44 hertz, which is pretty good, and that's realistic. Now, let's take that same driver, the two drivers, and we're going to load in the max spec from Kickin. This is where you can get this literally from the Kickin U app. And if you go into, let me back it out because that's the old one. I need that one too. Saved enclosures. Okay, I'm already there. So yes, this is for the two L7s. They tell you to throw it in 6.5 cubic feet. Tuned to 35 and all this other kind of stuff. They give you like a range, and there's all kinds of graphs of how well it's going to do. You can put in your own numbers and see what it's going to do as well compared to the other ones. Excuse me, breathing in too much air here. So, and excursion, it gives you a little bit more detail than the other app does, but the other app gives you SPL, like, you know, like kind of realistic results. But all, you know, you still got to try it, man. You still got to try it. All right, let me back out of here. And oh yeah, and do not sleep on the Ultimate Car Audio app. This app is amazing, and I believe it's free for the most part, or if it's like $1.99. Any of these apps, man, they're worth paying for because you're always going to use them. I've been using these, well, at least all three of them for like 3 or 4 years now. Kickin one I've had forever before. I remember when the Kickin app actually had bass attack. Do you remember the bass attack test tone tracks they had on the app? That was cool. I missed those. I need that. Ernie, Bill Frog, John, Aaron, anybody, if you're watching, I need that. All right, so and I put 6 cubes. You can do 6.5. I mean, honestly, I feel like that's plenty. And you know how Kicker does it, they don't include the port area, so you got to do the calculation of the port area plus the actual air volume of the enclosure, and this app's kind of weird. Just to get everything to match, that's how I had to do it. And we got the same numbers over here. And now we're doing a 144.3 at 42 hertz, clamping the same amount of power. We literally went up 3 dBs. We were doing a 141 at 44, 43 on the same amount of power. Now, if you look at this graph, it looks a little bit different, but not a big difference, but you do see a little bit more of a drastic fall, but it's pretty similar. You know, the lower you tune, sometimes you can get better low-end extension, and usually that just, you know, with sealed enclosures, you're going to have a less of a roll-off. Ported enclosures, you're going to have this roll-off, this 24 dB roll-off, whatever it is. You know, there's no such thing as 3s and 12s and 24s. It's all different numbers, and it's not real. It's all physics. But math makes it simple so we can try to understand it. But then this one kind of peaks around here and then falls off a little bit faster compared to the prefab. But this is, you know, a very large enclosure, and it's going to perform very well at, you know, whatever frequencies it's tuned around. And it's more of like an SPL box per se. But look at that. We gained 3 dBs. That is doing the same thing. Like I'm saying, the numbers don't exist, but it's like, you know, having another driver, you know, or you had it sealed and you made it ported. You're going to gain 2 to 3 dBs just by doing that in tons of variables. But to keep it simple, that's how that works. So you can see, you know, you gained, but is the other one bad? I wouldn't say it's bad. I just wouldn't say it's bad. Now, we could go on a whole rampage of all different enclosures. Oh, well, maybe you should change it to this. You should change it to that. And that's why I kind of built my own custom one. And I went a little bit smaller. I went 5.39 cubes and a bigger port, 40 square inches of port area, or 50 instead of 40, and tuned to 38, tuned a little bit higher. You know, in a shorter port. But, you know, this is the 8-inch Aero that you can go out and buy, and it's just a tad bit louder, like 0.2, 0.1, not much, and it's going to have a different curve. And, you know, I don't know if it's just, you know, me or not, but I feel like that isn't as steep. But, you know, and it's not, I don't know, it's still an SPL box, really. It's not sound quality, but this is kind of the specs that I would build for somebody and throw it into their car and be like, there you go, man, you're good. And either way, you're still jumping up. You know, you can do their max recommended specs or whatnot. I know some companies just don't provide a minimum and a maximum spec for sealed and for ported. They give you 4 box designs for free. Not many other companies do that. They usually give you, okay, run this if it's sealed, run this if it's ported. And maybe they say, oh, well, you can run it from 2 to 3, but then they don't tell you the port area that needs to be different, which it does. And that's what's great about the Kicker app. You don't have to technically use Kicker drivers for it to work, but it's going to give you the best results. Just because they factor that in there, the XMax, the QMS, the MovieMax, the CMS, just everything that's involved with the speakers, that's how they do that. So let's keep going. I want to do a few other things here as well. Oh yeah, make sure you guys enter the contest if you haven't already. I threw down a couple links already. Make sure you go enter, guys. I'm telling you. I tell you every week. Let's see here. All right, let's do... We're going to go bop, bop. Let's do the SPL box. That's a fun one. Whoa! 147.2 at 70 hertz on 500 watts. That's stupid. Now, is that really gonna be what you get in the car if you build this exact enclosure? Maybe not. Maybe it just doesn't work. But how they use this app and how they make the numbers work, the math work, it kind of works. And you could try different things, and then always kind of want to build big, and then you can always make the enclosure smaller if it's, you know, if it's too big. Can't go the other way around. But this is a very small enclosure. It's like 3.5, 4 cubes with a 10-inch arrow, but you see this in the competition lanes, and efficient, man. Take that to Street 1. And again, that's only 1,200 watts of power. Deviant's already, he's thinking of something good. Question of the week. La Tim, thank you for tuning in. Any update on the Solo X? No, you will hear first on the Unmasked show, man. They got something cooking. They always do. All right, so let's go back. Let me show you guys something cool here. Before we jump to the quad box and the L715 and compare those two, let's do... Here it is. I got them all mixed around because I was doing a bunch of stuff. All right, let's do a power sim. Oh, yep, this app, yeah. If you go backwards on it, at least on the computer, it just types 6. I don't know why. Whoever programmed this, please fix that. It's annoying. Other than the title of the name, that's the only place it doesn't do it. Either way, it still works. So, and it's cheap, $2. So again, say if you have this on low power, let's see what kind of numbers you can get on, we'll say, because we did 1,200 watts, we could do, well, 600, and then we'll do 300. So we can do double, double, double. We should gain 2 to 3 dBs, but you may see a bigger jump between the two. So let's just try 300 watts. And, okay, so on 300 watts, we're only clamping 112, which is fine, and doing a 136.3. So that's pretty good, but it just goes to show, you know, those woofers are pretty efficient. They don't need a ton of power. Now, if I double the power here, 136.3. Oh, 138.9. See, it didn't go up quite 3 dBs, but it went up. And maybe that has something to do with what the driver's like, all that kind of fun stuff, or it's just, is it really 3 dBs? I don't think so. I think it's like 2.5. But either way, let's see. Cabin gain is a big factor, 100%, man. And if you look at the cabin gain right there, boom, you know, it's helping you here on the lows. That's why, you know, your vehicle can still get a pretty good rumble, even though it's unloading down here or unloading here. At low power, you can get a pretty good rumble, and you know, it just kind of happens. And that's where the cabin vehicle helps you. There's all different kind of harmonics that go into play with that. That's why I don't get into it. I don't know enough. But yes, 100%. Baba, oh, he is the mailman. Dave Koslick sent me. Hit that like, people. Come on. Sorry, I know Dave was on Instagram. He's probably still strolling on there. You know, it gets addicting like TikTok and all that. But thank you. Well, I guess I could say thank you, Dave and Bubba. Thank you both, you guys, for always being here. And Bubba, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate you, dude. Thank you. Andy, it looks like I saw a place on the app you scroll in like that said cabin space or something. Yes. I really wouldn't worry about that too much just because there's a lot of variables that go into that, and I don't feel comfortable to explain that to you guys other than, you know, you get that horn-loaded effect, you know, just in any cabin, and, you know, that's boundary loading too. There's all kind of different variables. I know the guy that they had on, what was it? They had on, DIY and Toys channel show. That guy was awesome. He really knew what he was talking about, and I'm like, ooh, I could pick his brain for sure, 100%. And he was talking a lot about that. Maybe I don't know. We're gonna have to get him on another show one of these times. Well, I mean, man, no, soon. We'll figure it out. I know Derek and Rob are going live tomorrow. They're going live tomorrow, which is going to be awesome. 12-volt talk, man. I love that show. All right, so again, we went up like 2.5, 3 dBs, give or take. And whenever we doubled the power again, we went up to what, 141.4, give or take? What was that? Yeah, I think so. Oh, come on, man. Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. 141.4, so we went up another almost 3 dB. I think more than 3 dB, because it was 138.9. That's 139. No, just 2.5 dBs. We went up. Can't do that. And that's where we were again. Now, let's just say we double the power again. Do we go up another 2 dBs? I think we should. Why does that keep moving? I need it over here. There we go. Now 2400. Let's throw a KXA 2400 on this guy. And the power, it didn't go up. Why is that? You know, you're pretty much reaching mechanical limit, and this software has a hard time with enclosures that are kind of choking with all that kind of fun stuff. With the other enclosures, you can kind of keep adding power to them, and you get better results. I know from practice. That's why when I seen this, I was like, oh, come on, man. I did a 149 flat with 2 of these L7s in that prefab loaded enclosure from Kicker, and did 149, but I was clamping 4,000 watts, and that's nowhere close. Let's just try to get me to clamp 4,000 watts input power, say 5,000. See, it's still not even anything close. So this app's only going to give you so much. But let's go back to the power thing again, and we're going to go with a different box, because we're doing what, 136.3. We can go into the max spec right here. It's going to be a long show, guys, just letting you know. Make sure you go enter the contest before it's too late. Now you can see this one's already doing, it's relatively the same. It's like a 3 dB jump no matter where it is, because it's a well-built enclosure. Some enclosures that you build custom are going to have bigger gains on low power and lesser gains on low power, depending how the enclosure is built. I didn't want this show to be about how to build an enclosure, but just kind of showing you guys the differences, because there's a ton of differences between, you know, just any enclosure. You know, custom, prefab, loaded from the supplier that builds it. You know, when you buy a subwoofer that the company designs for that sub, it's going to work better than buying, you know, the one from Rockville, or maybe even a Trend. You know, I'm sure they make good boxes, but I even had issues with this one, not gonna lie. It's got internal bracing. They tend to just fall apart. It's not the best wood MDF, you know, it's just kind of cheap. And where was the other one at? Not the Rockville, this one. God, this one. I was looking for specs so I could do a comparison of that as well, but I'm like, man, there's just external airspace, and there's no, it says it's tuned to 39, but it doesn't give you anything else. Let's see here. Total box volume, 2.9 cubic feet. That's tiny. 1.45 per chamber. And this is for 15s or 12s. This is for the 12s, right. But 1.45 cubes for a 12 L7 is, or even an L5 is tiny. I believe the max, what is the max that, or the minimum that Kicker recommends for the L7? So let's go to the L7 here. Manage drivers, no, we don't need that. Well, actually it will say that. L7 minimum ported 1.75 right there. And they don't have the R on here, but they got the L5. They don't got the L10. Steve, we need a Kicker L10. It's better than a 5 and a 7. We need a 10. Either way, though, the L5 minimum ported. Oh, that's for an 8. Got to make sure that you got the right everything on here. It just kind of, yeah, it's got everything. But let's see, 1.75 minutes. I mean, it's really the same woofer. The L5 and L7. I noticed with a lot of my testing and stuff and doing these box designs and checking out the teal small parameters and everything else, that the L5 is a lighter driver. It has less excursion, has a lower FS. It needs maybe a little bit bigger enclosure, but not really, because it just doesn't have as much moving mass. It's a little bit lighter, and just stuff like that's more efficient. And I feel like that's why a lot of people use them in competition in the lanes. They're pretty nice. But again here, yeah, this is just too small. 1.45 cubic feet. You know, the Trend one at least said, and I know a Trend makes other ones, and they say it is designed by the people at Stillwater. Let's see, designed for Optimate, not this one. There was another one from a Trend that said designed from, you know, people help design from the people at Kicker at Stillwater. But this one is just bad, and you know, every prefab is not built the same, man. You know, I'm sure this has 3/4 inch wood like it says. Hopefully it is. But it's too small. It's too small. No matter what you do, that 1.45, cubic feet, that's tiny. So if you go smaller, like the SPL box, you need a huge port. And guess what? That port is not huge. It's big, and it works because it's probably 12 to 16 square inches. So if it's like 3 cubes, hopefully it's over 36 square inches of port area to 48, and it might work. And that's why they kind of work, and they don't sound that great because they have to make it small. But they don't really, but they did in this case. And not every single one of these are going to be the same. Let's see, 3/4 inch to 1 inch to withstand the deepest bass. So maybe it has a double baffle on it. I don't know, but it doesn't look like it. I know by my trend, they make different ones. There's a big one. It's like 5.5 or 6 cubes for like the, or no, it's like 4.5 or 3 for the 12 and like 5 to 6 for the 15 that they make. And they look nice. They look nice, and they look around like the close to max spec that Kicker recommends, so it definitely works. Again, guys, I try to let you guys know, make sure you enter the contest at kicker.com/umweekly. It scrolls on the bottom. I drop the links every time I can think about it. And yes. Appreciate you guys, man. I know I haven't been reading the comments, but it's Tuesday. It's Kicking with Andy. You know what we do. We try to teach people here, and we got a lot of people tune in from Kicker because Bill throws it up on the Instagram. I feel so cool. Throws it on the Instagram, Facebook, and everything else, and it's just, you know, I want to show these guys what they're missing. You know, there is some good in the show. It's not just all fun and joke. Hexy base equals rocket surgery for audio, man. I would love to pick his brain. I need to call Blake for him to translate hexy base material. Yeah, I even have a hard time. and I do. But he does kind of dumb it down a little bit. You just don't have to listen to every word he's saying, because he does sum it down at some point, but it's still a lot to digest. It's like, okay, well, can I do that? You know, and that's kind of how you feel at the end. It's like, okay, well, let me try that, or what do? I have no idea. It's just cool what he does, man. Very, very smart guy. Robin, Bennett, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate the guys that are here and gals. Garrick Hudson, the next time you talk about boxes, you have to have Bobby Gately as a guest. I don't know if you ever seen the Unmasked show with Bobby Gately. He's actually down Stillwater right now. You didn't hear that from me. He's down Stillwater right now, and he originated learning how to build enclosures from the people at Kicker, which is just insane, man. It's amazing. Simon, can we see your Cookie Monster car? I will try to remember. Make sure you stay tuned till the end. I'll throw it up or something like that. All right, let's get back before we run out of too much time here. All right, so we went over that. All right, let's do that 15 a trend box. Let's do that. Oh, come on, computer. Don't be giving me notifications right now. All right. Well, we're just going to load this one here. Box. Now, same vehicle, same, but we have, I think the driver's fixed. Yeah, we got the L715 in there. And the teal small parameters. I don't know. I knew he was this week. And I'm like, he's going down. He's going to be down there whenever they're not going live, unfortunately. What is Dub's request? Fourth time request, 3.8 cubes with 40 to 44 port area. Okay, well, gonna need some tuning too. And is this for the 12s? Because that's pretty close to what the... Here, I'll show you. Right here. Because you said 3.8, and that's kind of small. And a little bit more port area. So that should give you a decent amount of SPL. Might be a little bit peakier. What are you tuning it to? 3.8. Vent size. You're going to want to go 44. And we don't know the vent. We don't know the tuning. But we can calculate this. We can calculate. We'll keep the vent the same as that. Tune a little bit higher. But then you're going to need drivers. Got you, Dub, for the 12s. The drivers we need to load in. The L7S. 142.9. And we were doing, what, 44? And you're tuned a little bit higher, 48. And 776, clamping a little bit less power. I think we were clamping like 800 watts with the other enclosures there. I will save this one, though. See how I can go right with that? It actually works. Call it the Dub Collection. Volume 3. Volume 3. That's 3.8. Why'd that do 3. Come on, man. And, I mean, you can shorten the length. If you shorten the length a little bit, but then your tuning's going to go up. And then you could go to, like, maybe a smaller port, do 40. And then bring the tuning down a little bit. Which is fine. Still a little bit below the other ones, 143. But then our tuning went even higher. See how we did that? You know, the box got a little bit bigger. Port, I don't know. It just, the tuning went down, and yet the peak, the main peak with that vehicle went up. Now every vehicle's different. And that's why I have the vehicle set as I do, so we don't really get too much of that cabin gain per se, more just result of what it can do in most situations. But either way, excuse me, it's a good design, but it might be a little bit less of a roll-off because it's a little bit smaller with a little bit bigger of a port. Port's doing a little bit more work for longer because the port's wider. There's a lot of variables that I just don't know. But very good idea, Dub. Appreciate your comment and your suggestion. Dub Collection for the win, 100%. All right, let's get this going here. We need the trend box. We got that loaded up. Now we need the drivers. It looks pretty. Look, that works pretty good in the trend box there, the 15 or the 212s. Even though that's physically impossible. Let's load. But the airspace, it says L7, but it's a 15 or it's an L5. All right, so with the L5 15, and this is a trend box, we're just keeping the same power, 1200 watts, and you can see this one's a little bit more efficient than the. It's got more rise. Per se, with this driver, with this enclosure, than the two L7 dual 2 S's. It's a little bit, it has more rise. We're putting 1200 to it, but it's only clamping 426. And it's a pretty flat curve, and that's why they call it SQ. Is a porta box sound quality? I don't know, but they call it an SQ. And it's got a nice roll off. I mean, it's not as steep. Look at that. That's a hill you can, go snowboarding on. The other one, you might die. That one's not bad. So, either way, now let's go and throw the custom one, per se, that Kicker recommends for this L515. 141.6. And then, Kicker Max. This one's 6 cubes, 60 square inches of port, 22 inches long, tuned to 30. 142.8. And what do we only gain up, like a dB or so? But our peak is way lower, 37 hertz. And it all depends. You can tweak these numbers, but try to stay within that window that works. And I mean, obviously you build a custom box, it's going to be louder. But are the Kicker ones really bad? I don't know. I didn't have a Kicker loaded enclosure because they just don't have them on their website. They don't make them for the 15-inch in a loaded enclosure. They just don't do it. The 10s and the 12s and the downfire and stuff like that, they just don't do a 15 single or dual anymore. That's a really big box. I'm surprised they do the quad box. But by the way, before it's too late, guys, make sure you guys go and enter the giveaway. I don't know how much time we got left, maybe a few minutes. Let's see, let's see how many people entered tonight. 58 people entered. Awesome. Awesome. And we have 4 new people that tuned in. Make sure you guys share this video, because that's kind of what we want to do here at the very minimum, is get more people. One, to come to Kicker and my channel and the YouTube channel of Kicker. Go share this video, just because. I don't know, and, you know, I know it's a little harder on YouTube, but, you know, if you're on Facebook, go share this video. You know, and just have people enter. That's what we want to do here, man. Get new people to enter, and obviously the same guys that always watch. Something to watch and something to learn. So let me pull that down in a second here. Yeah, we got 2 more minutes, it looks like. Tiny Andy in the corner made Pebbles fall asleep. I'm sorry, you know, I know you're used to seeing like half of my face being the size of your couch, but yeah, I'm sorry. I just wanted to go over a few of those things, and I know we can do the quad box. Maybe we'll do it after we do the maybe the winners. I don't know, or we can do it now. I could do the quad box. We already did both the enclosures that I wanted to cover today. Talked about a few things. I mean, you could go down some deep rabbit holes with custom and prefab and which ones are good and which ones aren't, but I feel like I covered a lot of things that I wanted to cover. And I don't know, the quad box is the you know, just it's the, I guess the mashed, but not even the mashed potatoes. It's the cranberry. We can, if you guys want cranberries, we can do it. Woohoo! 2 out of 58 chances of losing. The odds are in your favor, RVH. What are you talking about? Thank you, Simon. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. You want to see Cookie Monster? Let me show you Cookie Monster before I forget. I did have a few other things I wanted to show you guys. I got a new set of Kicker KB 6000s, a black set, and man, they were brand new, and I had to get them, and I of course got them from Goodwill.com. You know, my favorite one-stop shop. I threw in the gold letter the other day in the Walmart build. It sounded better than the actual Walmart build subwoofer. The oh, what is that even? Jensen? Yeah, man, this thing sounded good. Sounded really, really good. And before we get to that, I guess I got to throw up my build. You want to see Cookie Monster? I'll show you a Cookie Monster. Give me a second. I mean, there's one right there too, but that one's in Halloween. You're not going to be able to see too much. That was a pretty cool one, though. I don't know. Guess we could do that one, huh? Is this one gonna have it? Let me see here. Yeah, this is a good one. Solo X18 on the KXA 2400.1. I don't know, man. It's a fun build. Sorry guys, we're back. Thank you, Dub. I hit the back button on the mouse. Melting, I mean, that's what happens when you clip it just a little bit too hard. It happens, man. It happens. All right, I think the competition, I mean, it says competition. The giveaway, it's too late to enter. Thank you for watching. I sent you pics on Messenger. Bobby B always sending me pictures. He's trying to fit in the last minute here. He's like, I got something for you guys. Bobby. Uncle Bobby B. I still need to upload that. It's one thing I forgot to do. Dodge Ram. Oh, you want me to do that enclosure, mounting depth, mounting 1.5. What do you want to throw in there? Because I have everything for square woofers. I do not have for round right now. I need the teal small parameters of each, or it's just not going to show, you know, accurate results, or it is not here. I think I'm going to do the YouTube more often than Facebook. YouTube is way better to hang out in the comment section, to be honest with you. Alright, cool. Let's do the quad box. Well, if you don't know what the quad box is, then you're living under a rock. That is the quad box. It's beautiful. It's around 8 cubes, tuned to 31, 32 hertz, 112 square inches of port area. It's got a lot of port, but it's not a huge box for those L7s. As we seen earlier, the L7s, the L7Rs, the L7 whatevers, you know, they need 1.75 to 3.25, and in the quad box, it's only at like 2. So it's not, you know, a hugely massive box for those subs. And I don't know, I'm just going to throw it in there. I have both the teal small parameters of the L7Rs and the L7Ss, and we're going to see what kind of numbers we can get out of it. Try to compare apples with apples, huh? Alright, so let's load the quad box, aka Quadzilla. And then drivers, we need to take that 15 out. It's not big enough. But with that 15, it's doing a 145. That's not bad. It's a pretty good box for a lot of things, man. But you can see, look at that peak right there, man. That is a peaky box. Falls right off. Alright, but not the worst. But yeah, I would say, you know, once you lose about 6 dBs, you know, that's kind of where your box just doesn't sound as good. So you're like there to there, you know, a playability. What, 28 to like 48? Yep, that's about right. I don't know. I'm just a noob. Alright, so let's go to the driver. Let's load in the L7Rs. We got 4 of them. Teal small parameters were loaded. What do we got on 1200 watts? A 145.1 at 41 hertz, 907 watts. And you know what? That score is it's pretty accurate. At that power, with that kind of SPL efficiency, frequency. Now, I would say it peaks a little bit higher in real life, and that is a little bit with this chart. What this chart does is it picks the highest point. You know, even if you would peak down here, for some God knows reason, whatever reason, you peak down here, it's going to show that number and not this number. And so maybe it could be a little bit higher, could be a little bit lower. Usually you peak with this quad box at like 47, 46 hertz. Can be like 49, but I feel like that's kind of out of its range. And honestly, it really likes it. 40, 41, 42, 43, 44 are the most aggressive, and 36 to 40 is really, it's still killing it. And obviously above 44 and up, it's still killing it too. But, you know, it just, I feel like that's where it likes to play music. It just sounds really good in my vehicle, and I'm sure a lot of others too. But anyway, that's on 1200 watts. Let's just throw these L7Rs out and let's see what the L7Ss could do on the same amount of power input, and see if it goes up from a 45.1, 41 hertz, 900 watts. We're going to load in the L7Ss. I forgot to put the S. We got to make sure there's 4 of them. Value not allowed. Just kidding. Oh, there we go. 4 L712s, music restarting. That means I've been streaming too long. 145.4. What were we doing? 145.1 and at 41 hertz. So these are peaking a little bit higher, around the same power. Oh goodness. Around the same power, but it's a little bit louder on that same amount of power input. Now, it could be maybe not as musical. I don't know. That looks pretty flat. I don't know. That looks pretty flat. And I think L7Ss would sound amazing in my quad box. I will switch them out eventually just because I already have two L7 Dual 2 sitting over there, grab two more and then just swap and see how it sounds, because they'll handle a little bit more power, and maybe it's not going to be quite as efficient, but it's pretty much apples and apples, and maybe it's going to have a different tonal change. I think it's going to sound a little bit different, but I don't know, man. I'm excited to do it, and after I stop spending so much money for a while, then I'll pick up a pair of L7S's. It's on the back burner of things. Okay, so with this software, I think it's pretty close of what it can do. Now, this is still with the L7S's in the quad box. It's doing a 48 on 2600 watts, which I can verify. That's about what it does. It's a little bit less efficient on this chart than it is in real life, but it all depends your vehicle too. I could tweak that stuff too. But let's just try to get the most out of these L7S's. Let's go 4,000. Got a 48.9. And what's cool about this chart is, see this is like definitely maxing out here, and you're maxing out here on your excursion. Now, right here is still usable excursion technically. Now, in real life, this may not be accurate, but on the graph in this software, it is. So it's kind of telling you, okay, well, at this frequency here, you're going to have this much excursion, but at this frequency here, you're going to have only where it's on the chart. So you can keep kind of going until you reach the X max. That's why it needs the teal small parameters for the software, for it to work. So let's just try to get that 50. Come on, man. We need a 50 here. Come on. See why it took me so long to get a 50? 150.2 on 5,400 watts. Now, could it handle 5,000 watts? Probably, but not music, obviously. You can see that's just, woohoo! We are pushing those guys really hard. Now, let's just take that out, throw the L7Rs back in, and see if there's any difference. This is just kind of playing around stuff here. Now it's a little bit lower. It's still the same, like 0.2, 0.3 dBs less, but you can see that excursion limitation is way shorter left of whatever we did have, and that's just because there's less X-Max on those drivers. So the L7S probably in real life could give you more potential out of your quad box and still sound really well. I'm kind of wanting to do it now, but I love the red stitching. I love the quad box to keep it stock, even though mine's wired at half ohm per terminal. It's stock, and man, I love banging around on that thing, man. It's an amazing setup. It's beautiful. All right, cool. Yeah, I think we really covered everything tonight, guys. I don't want to keep you guys too long. The trend, the quad, the L7S preloaded, crappy 5/8 MDF. If you see 5/8 MDF, do not buy it. If it's, you know, just don't buy it. Just don't do it. Yeah, we talked a lot. There's the tube enclosures they were talking about earlier, man. They still do it, and that's got a passive radiator. That's the way to do it. 100%, man. All right, cool. Well, let me get to the winners. I got a job to do, right? Let's do it. Andy, can you experiment for a Sony Pentagon sub? You know, if you give me the teal small parameters, I'll see what I can do for you, man. 100%. It's too late to enter Jeffy. I know, speaking of Jeffy, I finished up, yeah, I'll show you the video. I finished up Andrew's build because he still wanted to throw in the key lock into his build. We did that, and man, we were peeing the people off at the car show with the test tones. Because with the key lock, you gotta throw it all kinds of stuff: noise floor, pink noise, full test, all frequencies, 0 to 5 million. It seems like, and yeah, we finished that this weekend. That was awesome. Let me see. I had the video here. Where did I put it? Oh, come on, man. I know I had it put together for the other video. Got so much stuff to talk about every week. It's crazy. Twice a week, really, but all the time. Oh man. Give me 1 second here, guys. That's the chart. That's Burger King. That's too far. Or is that too far? Yeah. Oh man. Anyway, he gave a good demo. It sounds really good. You know, the Comp R loaded enclosure is the one that he's got, and it bangs, you know, for 500 bucks. And these Comp Rs are really similar compared to the Comp Gold. You know, they really are. But are they a clone copy? No. They have a different sound signature. They do. I got to be able to hear the difference. You know, they sound good. They both, I mean, can you really hear a huge difference? No. Unless, you know, you're really listening for something in particular. And it still might be the Mandela effect or whatever effect it is, you know, just messing with your head. I would 100% would love to see a Solo X 6.5 inch sub. You know, that's really pushing the envelope there, but I think they could do it. I know, no one even noticed the Kickin with Andy t-shirt. Like, come on, man. And it's got the back. Come on, man. Anakin! Yeah, placebo. That's it. Okay, let's see if we got any winners that are not bots tonight. Let's draw them. Come on now. 59 winners. One person snuck in before the door shut. You know, what I could do is whenever I'm sitting here, I can turn up the background music a little bit, right? Nah, we'll leave it down. Not like it's a huge difference. Alright, let me get to work. Leave me be. No, comment what you guys got. You know, if you have prefab, ported enclosure, what enclosure from what company. You know, I feel like there's so much more I could go into, but I just didn't, but it's okay. I try my best, man. Alright, let me move this over here. There we go. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. Baba's digging the tracks. My speed. 100%, man. You know, if it doesn't sound good, I'm doing something wrong here. I mean, we do car audio, so it's like we got a head start here. Everyone's jumping off. Well, I appreciate the guys that actually watch to watch. That's awesome. Not everybody, but we had a few. We had a few. Ah, well. Counting in my head, counting in my head. Ooh. I try to look at the names like one at a time, just so it's kind of a surprise. Oh, where'd it go? Bot Finder 3000. Ah! Can I just get one rib? Yes. Rigged, pretty pleased with sugar on top. Aw, no, you can't. Well, yeah. Man. That's funny. That's funny. There we go. Seeing double make it triple. You know, I need a Jeremy or an Ernie. I need one of them every other Tuesday. If we can make that happen. Just kidding. But you know what? That would be great. Lots of bots today, man. You know, it happens to everybody too. You know, on YouTube, man, you see that. I seen somebody commented or made a post about it. Yeah, they were like, oh, if you see blah, blah, blah. I know Derek did one too, but there was someone recent like, oh, about some giveaway stuff. Like on your YouTube channel, you know, it's like, come on, man. Like, you really think someone's going to fall for that? Maybe. Maybe, but it's just like, man, these people, they got nothing else better to do. But hey, you know what? As long as you stay busy, right? That's all that matters. Bluetooth, yes. Trolling, yes. Aha! The ding is a good ding. I know that name. I know that one. Ah! No ding. No ding. Yeah. Need the ding. Need the ding. Wouldn't mind some new Bluetooth action. Bluetooth. Glad your bump is gone, bruh. You know the highest SPL ever scored is after an anti-competition. Yes, people screaming in rage at 190 dB. You know what? I've seen it. I was there. I remember that. You know, this was a good show tonight. It really was. And I feel like there's so much more you could talk about, but at some point, it's just, you know, oh, there's the ding. And you just gotta, oh, it's rigged. Oh, it's rigged. It is so rigged. It's so rigged. You know, I thought you guys were just saying it, but this is, you know. Oh, the ding too. It dung. It dung. Oh, man. This one is so well deserved, and it's rigged. We're gonna leave it at that. I gotta punch these names in, guys. Oh my god. This is great. This is great. Let me punch these names in. Okay. Third place. Typing in name because I don't have Bill Frog behind me. Oh, all caps are on. Do L-A. Yep, your name starts with L-A. Ohio. Oh, I spelt that wrong. Yeah, of course. Third place is the EB 400s. Second place is still the Tabor 2s, and then first place is the Bullfrog 100. In case you guys didn't know. Man, you know, Kicker's gonna be yelling at me. They're gonna be like, "Did you rig this?" I'm gonna be like, "Listen, no, no, no. I did it. I did it. I did it. You gotta get the dings. You know, the dings. If it doesn't have the ding, then it's no good." All right, so okay, we have a girl that won tonight too. Second place. No city or state, but of the good old USA. If you don't put your city and state, just and you think it's the same name as you, just make sure you go check your emails. Bill will send you an email after this goes down. First place. Making sure I'm doing them right. You know, high school was not the best for me. Literally reading things twice. You know, just take your time, McGill. Yeah, right on that. Ah, okay. Oh. Me. Okay. And last but not least, the discount code. The ultimate grand prize, only on Living Law with Andy, Kicking with Andy, every other week. I'm surprised they don't do it on Unmasked, but you know, hey, feel ultra blessed to be able to, you know, to do that, you know, yeah, it's awesome, really is. Her name is Casey Baba. Is that, you know, I think she's friends with Candy. Thanks for tuning in, Vega. How dare you? Seen that one. Ronco 160. Just tuning in from the MBE show all the time. Thank you for tuning in here, man. Appreciate that you're here. All right, let's see. Well, girls go to college to get more knowledge. All right, cool. CCA Vega, 100%. All right, cool. Let's do it. Let me... how am I going to do this? Pull it up on my... No, because if I pull it up my phone, we know what happens. It starts coming through this thing and just messes everything up. So, but it's not connected, so I could do it. I just don't want to miss your guys' comments on YouTube, at least. Because I can't see them. StreamYard, get on it so we can see comments live. And while we're throwing up banners for giveaways, I mean, come on. Yes, Deviant, it is rigged. 100%. All right. Third place is... Well, this is what you get. You get the t-shirts, the unmasked t-shirts, official unmasked t-shirts. The kicker koozies, which are awesome. There's this kind, and then there's the unmasked one too, which I don't know where it went. There's unmasked koozies that you guys are going to get. And I think they send a few cups in there too. It's awesome what they're doing for you guys. And that sounds quiet. It's bothering me. Anyway, EB400s. Third place goes to... Drum roll, please. Lawrence H. from Westerville, Ohio. Congratulations, Lawrence. You will be getting an email from kicker.com. Bill will be sending you an email. Make sure you're you and you check medium instead of large, because mediums are so much cooler. And thank you for watching. Appreciate you. And congratulations, man. Second place is the Tabor 2s, the headphones that I use for work every day. These things are awesome. The next best thing to the Cush NCs. And rest in peace, Cush NCs. If you got one, hold on to it forever. Who knows? They might make something else. But the Tabor 2s, the next man up. And, of course, the unmasked t-shirt and koozies and maybe cups. We'll see. Second place is Jessica M. from no state, just United States. Jessica, congratulations. Make sure, if your name's Jessica, check your email. And you watched, you entered, make sure you check your email, make sure it's you. Thank you for watching, thank you for tuning in, thank you for supporting Kicker. And not last, but not least, first place for the Bullfrog 100. The Bullfrog 100, it's sitting right over there beside the pretty girl. And the unmasked t-shirt and the koozies. First place goes to Lewis R. McKinley. I put your whole name, I'm sorry. Congrats. Or it's McKinley, Texas. There we go. I thought it sounds like a last name. I thought I messed up there. Lewis R. from McKinley, Texas. Congratulations. Enjoy that bullfrog. You're gonna love it. Thank you so much for you guys watching. and he's just Googling random people to win. Yeah, these are, I don't know any of these people, but this one you might know, and the after party is going to be insane. That's all I'm putting out there. First place of the Ultra Grand Prize last time it was Cornut's wife, and then she definitely used the code not Cornut, and man, he got a bunch of stuff, and I'll have him send me some pictures of the stuff he got. Maybe we'll see. I know this guy will too. 50% off discount code goes to none other than, yes, it's rigged, Bubba! Bubba got the discount code. Congratulations, Bubba. I know he is jumping out of his couch right now. Congratulations, man. Dave, thank you for tuning in. Congratulations, Dub. Bubba. It's rigged. It's you know, that's I'm not throwing that up, Bobby. PG-13. You know, it's awesome that these are a giveaway option. A 50% discount code. Oh man, that is amazing. That is, congratulations, man. And I know there was a few new watchers that won the other stuff. At least we had one of our own win the big Ultra Grand Prize. I mean, that's the coolest grand prize, because you can buy anything you want from Kicker.com. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Stillwater. Thank you, everybody, for watching, man. You guys are awesome. Justin, you're late, but you're going to be getting your prize from Deviant from last Friday, and I appreciate you hanging in here tonight. 100%, man. You guys are awesome. That's how Bubba's feeling right now. I'm telling you, man, it is rigged. Just heck of odds, man. You know, I don't gamble, but, you know, maybe sometimes you should. And this is a good way to gamble, because it costs nothing. And all you have to do is tune in, smash the like, subscribe, and hang out and talk about car audio, man. It's awesome. And you know what? I'm not going to keep you guys any longer. We already went an hour and a half. I love you guys. I will see you Friday. But you know what? For the ones that are tuning in right now, you're going to know, because I see a few of you guys dipping off already. I will be on the Unmasked show next Tuesday, so I ain't going nowhere. I will see you guys, and I will catch you at the caboose. Stay living loud. I'll see you on the next one.
Kicking it with Andy. He's going to be on every other Tuesday. Kicking it with Andy. Kicking it with Andy.
Thank you for always tuning in and commenting at the end. And Chris Reddick, if you know Jessica M, be looking for an email. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and Bubba is going insane right now.
Kicking it with Andy. Kicking it with Andy. Kicking it with Andy. Kicking it with Andy. Kicking it with Andy.
Yeah, I made that track. I had to. I sent that to Ernie too. I'm like, Ernie, I made a hot new track. It's fire. Yeah, man. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, hanging out. Love you guys so much. Sorry, Andy, gotta start saving. It's okay, man. It's okay. I get it. I get it. I get it. Cornut with a 14.4 super chat. Congratulations, Baba. No caboose tonight, though. Baba says, oh no, thank you, Kicker fam. This was so awesome. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Cornut. I love you guys, man. You know what? Well, let's see. SJC's even here. I'm surprised he didn't try sniping. Usually he does. John K, that's no caboose. Love you guys. Cornut's coming in with a $2 super chat. See you guys. Cornut, you got the caboose. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next one. Stay living loud. Oh, wait.